So, what have you seen over the years that some of the major mistakes that business owners
Sure.
make
Yeah.
with regards to whether they have advisors or not? But ultimately, what we see a lot of them not talking and communicating.
Sure.
But let's go through that for the business owners putting blood, sweat, and tears. They're building a great company. They maybe don't know what they don't know.
They don't. Yeah.
Where can we start?
I think you're spot on. We don't know what we don't know. I could tell you outside of my dad and my business owner journey, and maybe many of your listeners that are owners as well can kind of feel this, is that a lot of the books that we read, a lot of the mentors that we have, they teach us how to grow a very successful company, one that has a strong P&L, a strong balance sheet. You have great relationships with your customers. You have good or great employees. You help create your culture and your rhythm, and you're focused on year over year, right? How do I get to the next milestone? How do I grow my company by 10 or 20% each year? But what you don't realize is that you're stuck in this kind of risk mitigation and income generation mindset. You're not focused on a value creation type mindset. And so, from a pure business standpoint, you're growing a company that might be successful year over year, but you're not translating that over to value. And so, yes, you have a deep relationship with your customer, but that one customer is actually 50% of your revenue. So, your business actually, even though profitable, might not be as valuable as it could be. So one, I think, is our mindset. The one mistake, I think, is the mindset is we don't enter business thinking about being a value creator. We enter business trying to create a good business that runs, that's profitable, and that could survive every year. Beyond that, it goes outside of business. Well, I think another mistake that we make is we're proud of the exit that does happen. We make $20 million, and then a year from now we go, dude, I'm friggin' bored out of my mind. In fact, I profoundly regret selling my business. I should have never sold it, man. And so we're not taking in the personal side of who we are, too, like what makes us tick. I think many owners think personal planning is about what hobbies we're going to have. They're like, man, I'm going to play golf. I'm going to move to a golf course. I'm going to play golf. And what you don't know is why you're going to play golf. Like, what's your purpose and what's the vision? What you then do is move to the golf course and you play golf. And then you're like, dude, I used to play like 2 times a week, and it was a great hobby. I had fun. But now I'm playing like every day, and I'm always surrounded by it because now I live on the golf course. I friggin' hate this. I should have just kept my business. Is that you don't know why you're playing golf. You just focused on the hobby. You didn't focus on the vision and the purpose. And so I don't think many owners focus on personal planning. They focus on business planning because it's more natural to us. But that's the kind of that's the dilemma, I think, that owners that are in, and perhaps lead to your question around the most kind of commonly mistakes that they make along the way.
So then, what are you teaching the 8,000 plus as they're working in the trenches, working with the business owner, helping them hopefully on all aspects, the personal side of things, and you think about that purpose, and it's the same thing even for a retiree who doesn't own a business. We walk through that too with them as well. What's it going to look like? So what are some of the things that that you have found valuable as somebody's trying to determine out what do I sell? What's the next step look like? Financially, I'm going to be okay, but how do I build out this purpose
Sure.
of what my life's going to be? Because the business shapes us on a day to day, and it is our
I think it does.
fully who we are.
Yeah, I think I would get back to the basics. I would say at the end of the day, what we're teaching our SEPAs and what they're bestowing then on the business owner themselves is that exit isn't something that happens when you're like ready to exit. I think really when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, one of the problems is, and what we're teaching is, exit is right now. It's all around us. It can come at any time. I was 24 when I sold my first company, and I sold it to a strategic buyer on an unsolicited offer. They just said, hey, man, we like your people. We like your product. We like the way you do business. Have you ever thought about selling your company? And so what we teach is that exit is something that you embrace every single day. And when you bleed together this business, personal, and financial model, the other thing that when you ask me that question that comes to mind is we're also teaching a two concurrent path model. I think for many of us as business owners, we feel really comfortable following that business path, right? That's kind of what we've been doing for years. That's what we're passionate about. And I think we hear it a lot from our advisors. I'm sure 9 out of 10 people have heard as a business owner, you need to stop working in your business and start working on your business, right? They're talking about decentralizing you as the owner, acting more strategic and more visionary for your business and thrusting the business forward. But what we don't hear as business owners is you got to stop just living in your life and you got to work on your life. we actually have two concurrent paths that we have. We have a business path, and then we have a personal and personal financial path. And instead of focusing on those paths somewhere down the line, we bring that conversation around value creation into the present. And that's what we're teaching advisors, how to unlock that mentality to the business owner. So for those of you that are working with SEPAs, you probably have that mentality. The SEPA was able to teach you that. Then you started living it, and now they're helping you through those two concurrent paths that we're working on every single 90 days and advancing throughout our career. So whether I'm 40 years old or whether I'm 70 years old, I have that kind of value creation mentality across all three legs of the stool: business, personal, and financial.